All right, so the last thing that we are going to explore is how to make a Google Slides a Nearpod. Now, the great thing about this is that a lot of you guys have Google Slides that are already made. Maybe you have pushed them out into Schoology and the kids, you've had assignments made and the kid gets their own copy, or maybe that you forced them a copy and they were to fill out things and share it with you. With Nearpod, they will get a code and your Google Slides becomes a Nearpod with interactivity. So the best thing that you would do is you would take whatever Google Slides you want and you would make a copy of it. So then you have your original Google Slides that you can always push out as a presentation, share whole group, but then you can make a copy of it and make this one beefed up with Nearpod features. So the best thing to do is to get an add-on. So on your Google Slides menu, on the right-hand side, you see the add-on. You would select Get Add-on and you would search for Nearpod. I have already done that. So I am going to click Nearpod and then I'm going to click Open Nearpod. Those buttons and controls will come up for you when you have added the add-on of Nearpod. So now on the right-hand side, I have all of these options to make my Google Slides more interactive. And what's amazing is that since I'm signed in on the right-hand side to my Nearpod, this will show up in my library. So this is some high-tech stuff. What's really great is I can convert anything to a draw it. That means not necessarily just drawing tools, but text tools as well. So, great things that we're going to review right now. We are going to review how to embed a slide, a couple tips and tricks on how to do this, and then how it will show up in your actual Nearpod. All right, so let's start with tip number one. Number one, this is from the city of Virginia Beach right now, and it's a fifth grade social studies standard, and they are various agricultural maps of Virginia. And as you can tell in the speaker notes, it has directions for the kids. So it says, in what region can you access fishing? A major port. I can make this whole slide a draw it. So once I convert it to a draw it, that means the kids can type on the slide. So it takes a little bit to do, but once it's made, I can edit this slide and type in the same directions that were just in the speaker notes. So I can say, circle the region and then perfect. My kiddos can have an option of circling the region. So they'll just use their highlight icon and circle. I can add a timer if I want, and I could also do a link or a video or an image to help them if I needed to as well. And then I'll hit save. So already that is now an interactive Nearpod slide. I know because it's blue. Now, if I wanted to just add a slide for a question, for example. So if I'm on my title and I wanted to kind of immerse them into Virginia, so I want to maybe add a field trip icon. So in here, these are all my interactive Nearpod features. I can make a field trip. This will give my kiddo a 360 view of whatever I am taking them in. Of course, I want to take them to Virginia. So when I search for Virginia, and it will take a little bit, and it would almost seem like it's freezing, it is totally fine. It is just sifting through tons and tons of media. I would select whichever one that I want. And so say, for example, I'm going to press, I can preview it or I can select done. It will show up on a new slide. And then I can give them some sort of think aloud question or wondering. Again, when I'm here, I'm going to click edit the slide and I'm going to give them some sort of prompt. I will type the prompt in right here, and I can edit when I press edit. And change the Nearpod feature if I want to, if I wanted to select something different. So those are two different ways. Whenever that you put in a new interactive Nearpod experience, any of these, it will show up as a new slide. If I wanted to show you guys matching pairs and memory test. These are really cool. So for matching pairs, you very much like Quizlet, you select various pairs and then it shuffles and the kids can match and have an interactive game. So maybe I would put the industry over here and then a region. I would just be careful that I'm not repeating the same slide so it wouldn't give multiple answers. So that is a matching pair and the directions would show up and I would select the save icon. I can also use insert videos or any sort of websites, embed any websites, and I can also insert in more slideshows if I wanted to, or even create a poll. There are tons of choices to make this interactive. When I am done, I'm going to select the save and go to Nearpod. Once I save and go to Nearpod, it will show up in my library. And you can see it's kind of working through right now. I would go through and preview it, and I would make sure that the slides do exactly what I was hoping and anticipating. If they don't, I will go back to my Google Slides and edit, and then it will say press the save and go to Nearpod again. I can select the preview to see my slides. And here's my VR that I embedded in. And then I'll go to, this was the one that we changed from a slide to a draw it. So now as a student, I have all of these choices that I can do to manipulate the slide. But since my direction says circle, I'll use the pen and I will create a circle. So that's what the kiddo would do. So that is just a brief introduction to the Nearpod add-in. I will tell you that it does take some time to play with. When it disappears, you just go back to add-on and you select Nearpod, open Nearpod. Once you're in here, again, you can embed various things like vocabulary videos and your Flipgrid as well. So again, tons of things. This is something that you definitely need to play with. The final thing that I do want to show you is how to take anything from the curriculum and insert it into your slides. So here I'm in a first grade graphic organizer and I want to make this more into a Nearpod. So two things I could do. I could make a copy of this and then I could use my Nearpod add-on. I personally don't like the sentence lines right here, just because if the kiddos are typing, it could confuse them, or maybe I want them to draw a picture instead. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this image over and do that 3 times. And then I can make this what I want. So I'm still using what the district gave me, but I'm adding my own little flair onto it. Okay, so for this purpose, let's just say I can make it look prettier if I want to. I can add it as a table, but I can convert this to a draw it. And once I convert it to a draw it, it gives that text manipulation. I can give directions, like I can tell them to, when I click edit the slide, I can say, using the pen button, draw the beginning, middle, and end of this story. And then I would type my instructions right here. You can simply copy and paste things from the curriculum and you can make it into a Nearpod. I do challenge you guys, if you're going to use Nearpod, and a couple grade levels have done it this way, you can use an entire Nearpod slide deck presentation for the entire week. So maybe slides 1 through 4 are direct videos with a couple responses. And maybe slides 5 through 10 have more of the interactive, formative feedback that you can give, the matching pairs, any of the collaborate, which is kind of like Padlet, where they can write their own responses, or maybe there's the quiz. And then as the kiddos work through, they're able to complete the I do independently, and maybe it's something else other than a Nearpod. But I do challenge you guys to use this tool for the I do and we do portion, and then for the you do portion, the kiddos can do something independently. So that's about it for the Nearpod add-on. If you have any questions, definitely email me. I am more than happy to ask anything and answer anything that you may have. Again, the easiest way to use this is in Google Slides, things that you've already made, and just make a copy of them. Good luck. I'm really excited to see what you guys create.